and welcome to a new edition of the Red Mountain Express. I don't know what episode this is. We're kind of lost on episodes nowadays.
30. No,
we're not even.
65.
You know what? Let's just say that it's probably not. It's probably like in the 50s.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. As you could probably tell, you're not hearing Matthew's voice right now. That is because Matthew is at work.
Boo.
He had to work. He had to make money and support his family, and
that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It's great.
So Matthew will be. So I'm actually going to be editing this. So if it's terrible, I'm sorry.
I should mess up as many times as possible.
Please do not do that.
Just so
I'm going to have so many things to edit out.
I think it's going to be fun. I think you'll be fine. You know, you and Matthew are more techie guys than I am. If y'all left this up to me editing, we just wouldn't have a show.
So
simple as that.
So we'll see how that goes. But the first time Matthew will be listening to this, I think he'll probably be on his way to work.
You think he's going to be like just shaking his head the whole time?
Probably.
Yeah. Should we say hello to Matthew right now?
Hi, Matthew,
you're in the car. You know, we miss you.
Have a great day at work.
Have a great day at work. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. So I did something that we've never really done before. We went to the beach for Thanksgiving.
What part of the beach did you go to?
So we went to 30A, and I know people are really specific about like what part. It wasn't Seaside. It was sort of near Watercolor in the area that is around the hub, and I don't even remember the name of the neighborhood. But it was with some of Liz's family. So now, have you been down there? Have you seen this place called the Hub?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so this was new to me. I had never really seen this before, but it's just kind of a neighborhood with like a sort of green space and like a bunch of restaurants and things around an open
post office
area.
Right there in the middle.
But so we actually, they had the big screen up, and we actually watched the Iron Bowl on the big screen, or the first half, and then I got frustrated and had to go home, and then the second half was better.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of like, all right, let's go and win this thing.
Yeah.
So, one of my favorite places to eat in the whole wide world. It's a place called Bud and Alley's. It's right across from that.
So this is not
post office.
So then you're thinking of Seaside.
Well,
okay,
it's all the same.
No,
man.
So this is another little down the road.
So the pictures that I saw you put on social media.
So we did go into Seaside. And
okay.
That's where, I think that's what you're talking about. That's actually in Seaside, and I do enjoy Bud and Alley's. We didn't go there, but
that's a shame.
It's kind of a newer area, I think. The hub being like this green space, and like I don't know. There's like a chicken place and a barbecue place and an ice cream place. All sort of walking distance from where we're
staying. There's a chicken place, a barbecue place, and a ice cream place at Seaside too.
There are.
Was it fun though? Was it great?
It was great. The weather was actually pretty nice. It was nice and kind of warm. The one day we went out on the beach was perfect beach weather to me, which is like not too hot, not too sunny, a little cool breeze. We played some football. It was awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
My daughter, we woke up on Thanksgiving morning. We normally we kind of rotate it. We either have Thanksgiving with my wife's mom and her sister, or we'll do and our nieces, and or we'll go to my grandfather's in Coffee County, which is what I did growing up. Now, for those who don't know where Coffee County is, I
don't know where Coffee County is.
It is south of Troy. Let's put it that way.
So you're basically at the beach.
No, actually, no. You're in the Wiregrass, man.
Okay.
I mean, we go through there when we go to the beach just to see my grandfather. But we have it's very traditionally untraditional, and I'll say it this way. So back in like the late 50s, early 60s, my family, the Westbrooks, decided to do a family reunion at Thanksgiving, and so they roasted a pig. And they did that for Thanksgiving, and that tradition has kept up through the years, and we're still doing it now. So for Thanksgiving, we have barbecue.
That's cool. I'm down with barbecue.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still a turkey.
I was gonna say, do you smoke a turkey?
Yeah, there's still a turkey. There's a smoked turkey. There's barbecue. My grandfather makes this rice that I know it sounds weird, but it's got like chicken broth. It's really, really good. They call it hog's head rice.
I've never heard of that,
and it's really, really good. And so, so we were planning on doing that this year. However, we woke up on Thanksgiving morning, and my wonderful, sweet daughter had 104 fever.
Ooh, no.
So yeah, we broke out the Motrin, and we stayed home. Luckily, the Piggly Wiggly in Bluff Park was open, so I went to the Pig. We got a roast. What was going to be the potato casserole taken to Thanksgiving became the potato casserole we had at our Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And so did the peanut butter pie. And
lovely.
So it actually, she got better. It was kind of another ear infection, and it was very nice. We enjoyed it. We missed family, but what are you gonna do? But then we stayed home. We watched the Iron Bowl. It was very enjoyable.
For some folks.
For some folks. For the two sitting at the table right now who actually went
Matthew's not here to pull for the other side, so he may not have enjoyed it as much, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Well, the second half I enjoyed thoroughly.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great second half.
It was. I've never understood the Gus Malzahn. It always seems to find something that really works and then just
stop doing
abandon it.
Well, here's the thing about Gus Malzahn, and so we're recording this on a Wednesday, and earlier today there have been talks that Gus Malzahn is going to accept a lower buyout to coach next year. Like his buyout is like $32 million. They have to pay him, I think, 16 or 18 up front, and then pay him the other half of it over 4 years. I'm not accepting a lower buyout. We agreed to this. If you don't want me to coach, just give me my $32 million, and I'll be gone.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he really wants to coach at Auburn.
Yeah, but I think if he told them you have to give me my $32 million, they'd be like, okay, you can still coach at Auburn. That's a lot of money. I think he has all the power here.
Look, if my company wanted to pay me $32 million to not work, I would be doing everything I could do, inside the lines, to get fired. Please fire me so I can just go.
People would
sit
ask you, Patrick, what are you doing today?
Nothing at all.
Yeah. Well, in other college football news, the UAB Blazers, they are going to be playing in the Conference USA Championship against Middle Tennessee State University up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The kicker is they already played Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro last week, got beat, and now they're having to go back up there and do it again.
Yeah,
because they lost.
And this is interesting, too, because I kind of heard that. I mean, it sounded like UAB sort of held back because they knew they were in the championship game and they were going to basically be playing these guys again if they want. I don't know.
But losing home field advantage, would you really do that?
It doesn't make sense to me. Because I think they moved the SWAC championship, which was supposed to be at Legion Field.
Yeah.
They agreed to do that. I think at whoever has the better record, the home at their home field, because it was going to conflict with UAB playing at Legion Field, and now UAB has 0 games because UAB didn't win home field advantage.
So there's nobody going to be at Legion Field.
Yeah, so
it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's odd because the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, all the Power 5, they do their. I imagine that most of them do their conference championships at neutral sites at places they have contracted out. Of course, they do it at the Mercedes Stadium for the SEC championship. So. I was kind of surprised they hadn't had something set up for Conference USA, but I guess it's just it makes sense. Home field advantage. It's easier to do it that way. But I mean, it's very odd. You're going to see that they played one game, and then the very next week they're playing again, just for a different setting and for a championship. So I'll be interested. I think it's going to be closer than the score this last week.
Oh, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'd be interesting to see how many UAB fans head up to Murphy. Is it Murfreesboro?
Murfreesboro. You ever been to Murfreesboro?
I've never been there. I've been to Nashville several times. It's just right outside of Nashville, not far, right?
It's north of Nashville. I think it's right outside of Kentucky, which my brother was based in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, so I had to go through Murfreesboro one time. So, nice town.
All right.
It's cold. I just remember that when I was there. It was really, really cold.
It's probably not cold all the time.
No, it's probably not.
It
is in Tennessee. But so we're looking forward to the UAB playing this Saturday. It's going to be at 12:30. It'll be on the CBS Sports Channel. So if you have that in your package, please check them out. And then I think Alabama and Georgia play at 2 on CBS. So flip back and forth. Check them out.
Yeah, I'll watch the UAB game until Alabama starts.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, so we'll see. Well, let's take a break. We're going to come back with a few stories about Birmingham. Patrick visited Lumbar, so we'll talk about that as well. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Beecham Woodworks is a locally owned and operated wood shop in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in custom furniture and small home goods. Chris and Kanan Beecham create a wide variety of unique pieces of all sizes, ranging from cutting boards to farmhouse tables. Using wood sourced from Alabama sawmills, Beecham Woodworks creates affordable, quality pieces that will be a one-of-a-kind fixture for your home. So support your local woodworker and visit redmountainexpress.com/woodworks or Check them out on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Beach and Woodworks, turning your house into a home. And welcome back to the second half of the Red Mountain Express. I don't know why I always say we'll see you in a couple minutes at the break, because our breaks don't take a couple minutes. Maybe it's because we talk for a couple minutes between our breaks.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It was like a minute.
You think it's a minute? Or
I really don't know.
Maybe it's 30 seconds.
I'm going to find out when I
Oh,
start
you're going to
editing
find
the
out.
files
Gosh,
tonight.
thing's only 45 seconds. Yeah. Well, in the news this past week, kind of an update on a story we did weeks and months ago. The Sidewalk Film Festival has found a home at the Pizzitz. They're going to build, I think it's a couple new theaters, and they have begun construction on that. This has taken, about 6 or 7 months for them to finally this come to fruition?
I think they raised most of the money pretty quickly. I think they had a deal where like you could like sponsor a seat or something like that. But I think raised most of the money pretty quickly, and it's just taken a little while, I'm sure, to get permits and contracts lined up to get the construction going. But yeah, it's under construction now. Biz Journals has a pretty cool set of renderings of what the theater's going to look like, just kind of like layouts or whatever. But it looks pretty neat. It's sort of almost like football shaped. With two theaters sort of back to back on the wall in the middle of it. I'm pretty excited about this. I can't wait to go see some movies there.
So the Biz Journal has the article. It's 11,000 square foot facility. We'll have 2 100-seat theaters, a full bar and concessions, an educational space, and the most important part is that the Sidewalk Film Festival will have a permanent spot instead of theater here and a theater there and different spots. So this is great. They'll have a home. I think Bayer Properties, which developed the Pizzitz, EBSCO, and the Hugh Call Foundation contributed $200,000 or more to this project. They also have some other companies that made some large donations as well. So glad to see this is finally moving forward. It's really going to be great for the Sidewalk Film Festival, which has really raised the profile of Birmingham as, I guess, a cinema city. I mean, we've had a couple films filmed here recently. A couple of films that have debuted at the Sidewalk Film Festival have risen to prominence. So I'm telling you what, this is really, really exciting, and it's really good for the Pizzitz area. I mean, it keeps that going in case like something else happens. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think this will be a good thing all the way around. Them having a permanent home is kind of a home base, and it's something to be able. I mean, they show movies throughout the year, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've had to always go to different places to borrow screens to do that. So now they'll be able to do that with ease, and I think that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I really am.
The UAB made an announcement today that they have hit their $1 billion goal for their capital campaign. They started this, I think it was like 5 years ago, and raised just over $1 billion from 103,000 donors. This is big. To do it this quick, to raise this type of money, to make sure the university can expand the way it wants to, I'm impressed. As someone who raises money, I'm gonna tell you what, this is hard work. Getting everybody together to get this money together. They do it through a variety of ways. Like they'll name, if you make a large endowment, they'll name like a school after you.
Yeah.
They'll name certain buildings after you. It was co-chaired by Johnny Johns, who used to be the CEO of Protective Life, and then of course Mike Warren, who is the CEO of Alabama Children's of Alabama. This is really good for UAB to see that they can pull this much money from the community.
Well, I mean, I think UAB generates a ton of money for our community. I think people see how important that is to the city of Birmingham, and I think people were definitely willing to jump in and help UAB with its fundraising goals. They cite in the article that UAB has had record contributions for the athletic department. They've had record enrollment for the past 3 years, and they've had records in research funding as well for the last couple of years. So, I mean, these are big accomplishments, and I think it just builds on something that's already. I mean, UAB's been great. I think everybody in Birmingham knows this is the economic engine of Birmingham.
Largest employer in the state, I believe.
It's the largest employer in the state, definitely, I mean, for tax revenue purposes, I'm sure there's
Down here at the bottom of the Biz Journal article, it says it has an economic impact of $7.15 billion.
is that a year?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Think about
not
it.
surprising. That's a large part of the economy of Birmingham is. I mean, if UAB went away, Birmingham would struggle.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. When I first moved to Birmingham, and when I'd come to Birmingham before I moved here, you'd go through the University of Alabama at Birmingham's campus, and it would just seem kind of like a commuter school. I mean, you didn't feel like you were on campus. Let me just put it that way. You do now. I mean, you feel like, oh, you're on campus now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, growing up here, the buildings sort of always blended in with just whatever downtown was, and so it was like, I mean, I obviously knew where UAB was, but there were definitely buildings that you're like, is that part of UAB, or is it kind of affiliated or not? Now it's very obvious. Like, I mean, you drive past the student center or some of the new buildings they built, the rec center and all that, and it's like, this is legitimate university campus that we're on here, and I think it's great. I love seeing it.
Yeah, UAB has one of the top med schools in the country.
Yep.
And I think they're trying to match other schools with that as well. And it's really important when you try to recruit folks to Birmingham is having the facilities that other universities have as well. And not just for the schools, but also for the student center, for student life and the green space that they have created. It is, even from when I moved to Birmingham in 2011, it's different. I mean, it is vastly different. And so I think this $1 billion campaign that they put together just is I think it's a fruit of their labor. Let's put it that way. So I'm very happy about it.
Very cool. So more, positive news for Birmingham. I think now we can move directly into the food and drink portion of the show,
as we always do. Okay, so you went. Do we want to talk about Lumbar first? I know we had talked about this for a couple weeks ago. They were trying to do an opening, and they finally did it. You were invited. Tell us about it.
Well, so yeah, I got to go check out the Lumbar. Which, I mean, I know we've talked about it before on the show, but it is a science-themed bar, which is at Pepper Place. It's a cool space. I mean, you kind of walk in, and it's sort of got this like classroom feel where they have some sofas and like books and like globes, and they have a long wall of chalkboards on one side.
So what you're telling me, it's kind of like a nerd version of Mama's Basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Mom's Basement.
Yeah, of Mom's Basement. And then you sort of walk up a few stairs, and there's a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a sort of collaboration room, is what I would call it, like a meeting room. They had food laid out in there, so I'm assuming normally it'd be just open or whatever. But and I don't know how it works. I didn't get the full details on like if you have to reserve the room or if it's first come first serve or whatever. But I'm a sucker for a whiteboard. I love whiteboards. And so they have a huge like wall of whiteboards, and got to hang out. They saw some interesting cocktails coming out. They're serving stuff in like beakers and very sciencey. There's some things bubbling and smoking, and they looked like they had a pretty good drink menu. Everybody that was there said the drinks were really good. I didn't sample any of the drinks, but the food was actually really good. They just had a little sampler out of. The owners, Tim and Riley Hightower, it's a father and daughter. They're from New Mexico, and so everything on their menu has green chilies in it.
I'm a fan already.
Yeah, I enjoyed this,
Yeah.
And so they had, just as a sampler, they had green chili stuffed meatballs that were sort of Parmesan coated and deep fried.
Oh my God!
And then they had a green chili ranch with them.
Oh man!
Both of which were outstanding. They had a chili, Frito pie, chili Frito pie.
Yeah,
with green chilies in the chili, and then they also had some little sliders that had just little burger patties with green chilies and pickles and stuff. They were all very, very good. Like, you see stuff sort of sitting out on a buffet, and you're like, that's gonna be all right. No, this was really good.
So this is the stuff so they do serve food as well.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They have a whole menu. Like I said, it's very New Mexico based. It's green chili inspired. But I took some pictures. Maybe I'll post them. My picture. I watched all the media folks in there with their big cameras taking pictures.
You're over there with your iPhone.
I'll take out my iPhone and snap a couple pics. So we'll see how they look. But they had some of the sample items out. Like they had a grilled cheese. I don't know if it has green chilies in it. I assume it does, with like tater tots. They had
tater tots. Got all the tater tots.
I forgot all the things that they had. There were a couple of other menu items that I'm totally blanking on right now, but it all looked really good.
So what I was going to ask you is, do you think this is the kind of place that's going to hang on? I mean, like, first of all, let me just say this. I love the fact they have, like, classroom space or meeting space, because, you know, we have been to certain things that we've met at a brewery, and it's a bunch of us, but, you know, we always get, you know, it's too loud, or maybe the seating is not really good for having a big group. So I think this is a good place that was in need of people like you can go and meet. And
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works. I don't know if it'll have more of like, because I mean they're serving alcohol, obviously. Yeah. So towards evening time, I would imagine it being sort of more of a bar may get a little bit more crowded and rowdy than someone wanting to study or
well, yeah, but I'm talking, you know, just.
But I could definitely see, like when I first walked in, everybody was working. So they kind of had like, the first part of the event was like, come hang out, work. And then it was more of a reception afterwards. And so the hangout and work part, like I walked in, everybody's on their phone or their computer or their, you know, whatever, doing work, taking pictures, whatever. And it was very, very laid back, very low key. And I could definitely see somebody who's working downtown, wants to get away, go grab a drink or get some food. And
do we know anybody that works downtown?
I might know a couple people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, actually, there were several people that work at Forge that were sort of in there and hanging out, and so I could see, you know, just dropping over and either meeting in that room if you had some, you know, meet with a client or something like that, or just hanging out because the downstairs part has like more of just a restaurant, like dining, just table areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just even hanging down there working would be fun, and almost had that almost Starbucksy type vibe of just sort of comfortable, relaxing, but there's food and drinks here if you need them.
When is it open? Are they open now, or do they?
I believe they are open now. I think they announced their grand opening last night, but I don't think I stuck around to hear when it actually was. So we'll find that out and we'll post it in the show notes.
Let me just say the best text I got from you last night was like, I feel so out of place. Because, like, you know, we were invited as, I guess, media. We're invited media.
Yeah,
and
we were media.
We were media, and, like, you showed up, and, like, people from Biz Journal and other folks were there with, like, their cameras, and you're like,
Yeah, I got to meet Russell Hooks from Happenings in the Ham.
Yeah.
So you guys had interviewed them before and know them, and I had not met. Actually, I got to meet Amber as well.
Yeah.
Later on, she joined later. So it was very nice to meet them.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. So
everywhere.
I was like, I feel so special that I get to be at this media event. So thank you, Riley and Tim, for the invite. I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely be back.
Well, good. Well, you also you talked about this before we got on the air. You wanted to mention you went to Brennan's as well.
Yeah, so I went down to Brennan's. I had never been there. Our church does a thing called Theology on Tap. It's normally on Thursday nights.
And Pierce, if you're listening, I promise you I'm coming back. I've been really busy. I'm sorry.
So it's something that I've done for a while. Blake and Matthew have also done in the past, and it's really cool. We just we go meet up at a bar or a brewery, have a few drinks, and talk about theology. So I was late because I had gone to the Lumbar, but I went and checked out Brennan's, and I ordered some French fries. Because I saw them like kind of clearing off plates when I came in. I was like, those fries look pretty good. I'm gonna get some French fries because obviously I didn't have enough to eat at the Lumbar. I didn't want to like.
Were there chilies on this French fries?
There was pepper of some sort, like cayenne pepper or something, and they were spicy, and they were honestly some of the best French fries I've ever had. So if you're in 5 Points, go to Brennan's, check out the fries. I can't tell you anything about anything else on the menu other than I had Buffalo Rock ginger ale. But the fries were outstanding. I mean,
I've been told to get the French fries and the Buffalo Rock ginger ale.
Just walk in and order the Patrick.
The Patrick.
They're going to be like, what? The who?
Yeah. You know, my wife and I, we went on a little mini, date. We don't really get out much with our.
I was going to say, are you allowed to go on dates anymore with a young daughter?
Yeah, we got out of the house. Our niece watched Maggie while we went out, and we went to Sky Castle. And never been there before. I enjoyed it very much. We kind of just got some appetizers and we had the buffalo chicken dip, which tasted like every buffalo chicken dip. It was fantastic. I loved it to
Sounds
death.
good.
We ate it up pretty quickly, and then we had these pork nachos that were really, really good as well.
Did you have the cauliflower?
I didn't. Hey, first of all, so we sat down. We were looking at the menu, and they were like, "Yeah, what's popular?" And the server goes, "Oh, the cauliflower." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not eating cauliflower." No, I love cauliflower, but I like it like raw with like ranch, like any other good vegetable.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of along those lines where they put enough stuff on it to make it taste delicious.
Yeah.
It is really, really good, though.
Just, I'm sure it is.
So have you heard the story on the name of that place? I'm sure everybody's heard this by now.
No.
Okay, so there used to be a radio station, I can't tell you which one, that had the booth, like the DJ booth, was this sort of glassed-in place, and it was like on that corner. Back in the 70s, I don't know. My timeline is wrong. And they called it the Sky Castle. So it kind of looked down on the street, and like people would come hang out and like listen to the music or whatever. So that little radio DJ booth, and some of the decor in there, you kind of see. Yeah,
okay, I did see some of that. I just didn't know that was part of the name, but
that's why it's called Sky Castle.
It was really, really good. I was kind of worried because there's nobody there. It's a really cool spot. I mean, it's a really cool place. The food was good. The people were great. But there was really no one there.
When did y'all go?
Oh, it was during the week, though. I mean, that's the thing. It was around Thanksgiving, so it was during the week.
During the week, around Thanksgiving, people are sort of off with family. So hopefully they're still doing well. I do not enjoy it when good places go out of business. Speaking of a place that went out of business, apparently Revolve Kitchen and Brew.
Which we had both been to together.
Yes, and it was very good.
The Brussels sprouts. And as I was just talking about cauliflower we hate, but those Brussels sprouts.
I love a good Brussels sprout. They did have some good ones, but apparently they've closed permanently. That's unfortunate to hear. I hate it when that happens. People sort of talked about it. This was at Lee Branch. I don't know if you're familiar. I mean, obviously you've been there, but I don't know if you're familiar with other things that have been there.
There's Pablo's upstairs,
Pablo's right above it.
Yeah,
it's kind of hidden. It's not like in the main like Lee Branch strip. It's sort of in that little island out there.
Yeah.
But it's not there anymore, so I don't even know why I'm telling you. It was the same people that own Bellini's, though, so I don't...
Yeah, which I love Bellini's. Bellini's is great. Yeah, they're catering our office party.
That white chocolate bread pudding.
That's what's on the menu, man. They have if we're going to talk about food, let's go ahead and do this. Like, they have this this roasted chicken with Conecuh sausage, and Conecuh sausage may be my favorite thing in the world. And they also have this, like, steak that's really good, too, but that white bread chocolate, God, so good. So good. Anyway,
one other food-related item.
This caught my attention, and it was actually brought to my attention by my wife. But there's a new bar that's open in town called Queen's Park.
So I will say, I actually sent this to you guys a few weeks ago, and then we just never talked about it.
That's my fault, and I apologize for that.
I forgot to bring it back up too, but because this sort of flew under the radar for us, and we're pretty paying attention to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
The place is called Queen's Park. It's located on it's at 112 24th Street North. It is going to be open Tuesday through Thursday from 4 p.m. to 12 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. But this place is
it's in the Loft District. Can I just say what the coolest thing they've just done, though?
Okay, sure.
So they have transformed into a Christmas-themed pop-up cocktail bar. And it's from November 23rd through December 31st. They'll have, like, holiday decor, holiday-themed cocktails. And I'm on the website, and this is what it says. The nostalgic energy of the best office party you've ever been to. Miracle is sure to get even the grouchiest Grinch in the holiday spirit. So apparently Matthew would love this place.
I knew you'd bring Christmas into this.
Hey, you know what? It's Christmas time.
Yeah,
it is. It's ready. But anyway, so it's a Caribbean themed. Is that right?
Yes.
The two people that have come up with this. One person's from Birmingham.
So Larry Townley, who I believe has been a bartender in Birmingham for a long time.
At Dave's.
I think at Dave's.
Yeah.
And maybe some other places, but and then a Brooklyn native. Who's
Lauren Newman?
Lauren Newman. Yes, sorry, I'm trying to catch. She actually has won some pretty prestigious awards for bartending,
like National Bartender of the Year or something, or it was like Bartender of the Year. I mean, it was Laura this is on her biography on the website. Laura has been a national and regional finalist in competitions such as Patron's Margarita of the Year, the Woodford Manhattan Experience, and Speed Rack. Most recently, she won the USBG World Class US 2018 competition sponsored by Diageo and placed in the top 4 of global finalists in Berlin. So she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. She's one of the best bartenders in the world, and she's right here in Birmingham. So go check this place out. Sorry, we sort of stumbled over some of the things here. My editing is probably not going to get all this out, but it looks like a really cool place. Like I said, I don't know how they flew under the radar, but it's open now. And
Yeah.
I definitely want to go check this place out. So
Yeah, happy hours from 4 to 7. And like I said, it's a Christmas-themed pop-up bar. And, I mean, who doesn't want to go to a Christmas-themed pop-up bar?
you'd have
I
to be
mean,
pretty
seriously,
Richy.
like, why are we not there right now? Like,
That's a great question. Maybe we can go after this.
I'm on their Instagram page, and I'm going to tell you right now, this place looks fantastic. So everybody go check it out. On Instagram, it's Queens Park Beham, and you can also follow them on their website, which is queensparkbeham.com. So check it out. It's really, really cool. We'll also post a couple of articles about this place on our website. So this has been a good show with Matthew not here. I mean, he's just, normally he's here to keep us in check, and we're just, winging it.
Rambling on.
Yeah, it's probably been the best show we've ever done, though, right?
It has to be.
Has to be. Matthew, come back. We miss you.
Yeah. So I did want to say I enjoyed meeting everybody at if you're listening from Lumbar. Hopefully we'll get invited to another media event.
Yes,
Now that
Queens
we're
Park,
meeting.
if you're doing a media event, please.
We'd love to do
We'd
that.
love to go there. I'd be there in a heartbeat. I'll even sing some Christmas carols. You know what I mean? So, is that going to wrap it up for this
I think
edition?
that's all we got.
That's all we got for this edition of the Red Mountain Express. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You also follow us on our website at www.redmountainexpress.com. We'll have some show notes posted. Also, leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to hear. For Patrick Tucker and Matthew Joyner, who is not here, I'm Blake Westbrook. We'll see you next.